Right now, if you get a headache, you take a pill and it's gone in 20 minutes. If you cut yourself, you clean it, tape it shut, and in a week, you've forgotten it happened. None of that existed for most of human history. No pills, no stitches, no antibiotics. And here's what should actually get your attention. They didn't just survive small injuries, they survived skull surgery. Awake, with a rock. This is Kesh's story. It's also the story of how your entire bloodline made it here. Kesh is 22. He's fast, he's sharp, and he spent his whole life learning to track, throw, and survive. Today, like most days, he's out with two others from his group, working a game trail before the weather turns. He has no idea that in about an hour, a single bad step is going to test everything his people know about staying alive. A loose rock, a hard fall. Kesh's head hits stone, and for a moment, everyone around him goes silent. Head injuries were common back then. Falls, fights, hunting accidents, and they were often the most dangerous kind because swelling and pressure could build up inside the skull with absolutely nowhere to go.
They carry him back. He's conscious, but barely. Dazed, in pain, the swelling already visible. And now, the group's healer has a decision to make. Do nothing and watch the pressure inside his skull possibly kill him? Or attempt something that sounds almost unbelievable today. It's called trepanation. Cutting or drilling a hole directly into a living person's skull on purpose while they're conscious. Archaeologists have found trepanate skulls going back over 7,000 years on every inhabited continent, performed by cultures that never met each other. And here's the number that should stop you cold. Survival rates for this, done with stone tools and no real anesthesia, ranged between 50 and 90%. Think about what this actually felt like. Someone holding you down. Someone else scraping through your scalp with sharpened rock while you're still awake, because the scalp is packed with nerves and it hurts like nothing else. Kesh grips the arm of the person beside him. He doesn't scream, not because it doesn't hurt, but because screaming won't stop what has to happen next.
Why would this even work? Somebody, generations before Kesh, figured out that letting the pressure out through a hole in the skull actually helped survival odds after a head injury. Not through a textbook, through watching people die from head injuries over and over, until someone tried something different, and it worked. That knowledge got passed down for thousands of years, refined by hands just like the ones working on Kesh right now. Here's what makes this genuinely shocking. Researchers comparing ancient Incan trepanation survival rates to American Civil War-era battlefield surgery, thousands of years later, with actual metal tools, found the Stone Age version had a higher survival rate. Not because they understood medicine better, because they were somehow accidentally cleaner. Civil War surgeons dug around in wounds with bare, unwashed fingers between patients. It wasn't total agony with nothing to help. Certain plants had genuine mild numbing properties, and healers knew exactly which ones to use. Willow bark, chewed or brewed, contains compounds your body still recognizes today. Modern aspirin is a synthetic descendant of that exact plant. Kesh was given something before the stone ever touched his skin. It didn't erase the pain. It dulled it.
The surgery itself wasn't even the biggest danger. Infection was. No antibiotics meant a small wound could become a death sentence if it turned bad enough. Yet ancient humans figured out things that sound almost like accidental science. Honey, used across multiple ancient cultures on open wounds, actually has genuine antibacterial properties that modern science confirms today. Nobody knew why it worked. They just knew which wounds healed and which ones turned black. Days pass. The swelling goes down. The wound, impossibly, starts to close. And here's how we actually know this worked. Not just for Kesh, but for real people thousands of years ago. Archaeologists can see it in the bone itself. When the skull healed around the hole,
that means the heart kept beating long enough for new bone to regrow. Kesh isn't just alive. He's proof the method worked. It wasn't just heads. Evidence shows prehistoric humans setting broken bones with splints and mud casts. Evidence of amputations that patients survived, meaning someone figured out, purely through trial and error, how to control catastrophic bleeding well enough that a person didn't just bleed out. And childbirth might be the single most dangerous ordinary event a human body went through. No pain relief beyond herbs, no emergency surgery if something went wrong, just other women who'd survived it themselves, doing everything they learned by watching it happen dozens of times before.
Here's the perspective check, because at this point, we've earned it. You have painkillers in your bathroom cabinet you don't even think about. If you get a toothache today, you see a dentist, and it's fixed in an hour. Kesh had a rock drilled directly into his skull while conscious, and days later, he was back checking hunting traps. Meanwhile, most of us have put off a dentist appointment because the wait time felt kinda long. That's not a judgment. That's just how far the gap has grown between what your body can survive and what it actually has to. In the span of a couple hundred years, nothing on the scale of human history, we went from trepanation with sharpened stone to surgery you can walk out of the same afternoon. From hope the wound doesn't turn black to antibiotics that cure infections in days. The single deadliest, most unavoidable part of being a fragile human body is now something most of us barely think about until it happens. Kesh survived because of hard-earned knowledge passed down by people who watched each other die until they figured out what worked. You're here, healthy, watching this on a screen because that knowledge never stopped being passed down. If this gave you a new appreciation for your local pharmacy, subscribe for more real stories of what survival actually cost our ancestors.